Thank you for inviting me here. I will speak about not technology today, which I normally does, but today it's a little bit different. Michaela asked me to speak a little bit about the journey that we done inside our company and all the challenges we were facing. And it will be, I hope that it will be interesting for you to hear what we have done during this journey. So, first of all, just to give you an overall understanding of our company, we belong to a French group of companies, so we are about 4,000 employees all over the world, actually 24 subsidiaries in 17 different countries, just to wrap it up shortly. So, we have today 9 million units running in more than 130 countries. But that's not so interesting. The interesting part is, how did we get here? And I will try to give you a slight understanding of the journey that we did and the challenges we faced. So we founded the tech center in Linköping in 2008. We were only, at that time, 12 engineers. We had no money, no customers, no strategy, but we had full artistic freedom. That's what you have for a short time or period to some of the owners understand what are you doing. So we started off blank with a blank sheet of paper, and we came to the conclusion that we need to make a market analysis. And in the market analysis, we concluded that connectivity is going to happen. And this was in 2008, so it was quite early for connectivity. And we also figured out that when we do this, we need to do something different, because we came to the conclusion that it's quite expensive to develop connectivity. You need to have certifications. A NAD module is quite a complex product. You need Wi-Fi, you need Bluetooth. All these things, when you combine it, it's quite complex. So in order to sort that out, we formed a strategy. And the strategy was actually, in very short, it was to develop something that is a toolbox of technology that we can use for several different customers. So in order to share the development cost between different customers, because we figured out if we go to one by one and ask for all the NRE money that we need to develop this, it will be more difficult. So at this point in time, it was quite new to share development, because all the OEMs on the market, they really had fences outside, they didn't work with each other, and they don't want to share anything with anyone. So this was one of the first products where we actually succeeded to sell the strategy of actually using some of the components between different players. We also said it's easier to sell something with a name. Something that we can leave behind us, that people remember, yeah, those guys spoke about this product. So we decided to find a name, and we ballparked some ideas, and suddenly one of the guys in my team came up with ACU, Actia Connect Unit. That's brilliant, I said. Gen 2. What? We haven't done any Gen 1. No, nobody wants to buy anything of Generation 1. So for that reason, our first product is actually Gen 2. So in order to win the automotive industry, we cannot come with a PowerPoint. We need to have a conceptual design ready so that we can bring some confidence that we will actually solve this. So we did just that. It didn't take so long until we won the first large contract, and we needed to hire quickly 50 engineers. You remember we were only 12 in the beginning, so we accelerated from 12 to hire 50 people. It's huge. There's one more thing. There's a lot of things to say here, but there's also one thing. We should never lie for anyone. That's really important. We don't lie for anyone. But I said to my team, now when we go to these huge companies and knock on their door, we don't necessarily need to tell them that we are only 12 people. So it's not a lie, but we didn't tell because normally we tell on the first slide we are 12 people. That would have killed us before we even started. So we didn't say that really. Okay, so we won the first contract. Then we won two more large contracts, and suddenly we were 200 people instead of 12. So when it comes to growing fast and we had stressful projects with really demanding customers, believe me, I know how the stress is to do this, because it is a challenge to grow in this fast and to make sure that we deliver the projects on time. Because if you don't deliver a project on time to the automotive industry, it's really expensive. You shouldn't do it. Okay, so then, when we had all these projects, we were working like crazy. We received an RFQ from Jaguar Land Rover. And I called to the purchasing group manager and asked, how many companies did you send this RFQ to? And he said, yeah, 10. Then I knew we were number 10 on that list. And I was thinking to myself then, Jaguar Land Rover is a pretty nice brand. So for that reason, we really want to participate in this tender. But on the other hand, the invest to do this is substantial. So if you count it in money, it's about 35,000 euros in investment in time and effort for R&D and sales to win such a big contract. So I was thinking, are we really going to respond to this? So it was during a weekend. I was thinking to myself, okay, we are number 10 on the list. We don't do it. But then I was thinking, there must be a way around this problem. If you're an engineer, you love problem solving. Am I right? So there must be a way around. So I was thinking, in the sourcing committee of this type of projects, how many people might there be on the JLR side? And I came to the conclusion, most likely 20 people. What is the role of these people? Yeah, most of them are engineers. I would say all of them are engineers. Even if they are purchasers, they are engineers. That's how it is in the automotive industry. Okay, so I concluded a few things, mind mapping this in my head, and I came to two things. First of all, when there is a sourcing like this, the people involved, they are normally also involved in the running production. So that means they can only spend 5 to 10% of their time on a new project during the sourcing time. So what do we do with that information? Of course, we need to allocate as much of that time as possible, because if they speak with us, they don't speak with competition, right? So that was one of the things we did. The second thing was, okay, we are in Sweden, these guys are in Birmingham. How do we make ourselves visible for the guys in Birmingham? And I was thinking about this quite a long time, and I came to the conclusion, we should answer to any questions before they ask it. We should be extensively fast on this. So I came back to the team on Monday and I said, we are going to answer, but we are going to do it in this way. We need to divide the questions we forward, we need to allocate the key people in the sourcing committee, and we need to answer quickly to any question that we might have. So we launched the strategy, we started to work like crazy, and after 6 months we were called down to Birmingham to have a quote review, and we were nominated, so we won. We went from number 10 to number 1, and we got the business. And the project manager, Mr. Kevin Stock at the time, he told me, Christian, do you know why you were nominated? No, I have no clue. You were completely outstanding on response time, and we tested you. So your main competitor was Denso. They have an application team here in Birmingham. All the questions we forwarded took 2 weeks to answer because they had to return them back to Japan and back. And we answered within 24 hours on all questions. So that is how we, just an example of how we did it in a way when everything looked really difficult, but there was a way to solve it. Okay, so we continue. this product area, which is called connectivity, went from optional to standard. That means we attract a lot bigger companies in this business area. So what do? At this time, we actually we passed the 1 billion turnover in SEK, the 1 billion turnover in less than 6 years actually, and I think that is a little bit unique. But we did that in very short time. Now we come to the problem. The problem was we were producing and selling stuff like crazy, and we earned a lot of money. But we also were really vulnerable. We had 3 customers that stood for 95% of our turnover. So the question is this a good way to be in? Okay, of course, for the moment it's nice. Money is coming in. We are producing more than 1 million pieces a year. It's beautiful, but you need to think ahead. What is going to happen tomorrow? So we figured out that what is competition for the next sourcing, because when you sign the contract in the automotive industry, it is for 5 to 7 years, depending on car lines, etc. So it's quite long contracts, but you're only safe for that period of time. So we figured out that our main competitors will likely to be small companies like Samsung, LG Electronics, and Continental, companies that are 100 times larger than Actia Group. So how do we fight that? We did some analysis, we looked at the bill of material, we negotiated with suppliers, and we came to the conclusion that we need to do something about this, because this is going to make us really vulnerable. So it's time again to sit down and think and make a new strategy. So we created a strategy in order to limit our risk exposure. So how do we do that? First of all, we took all the different market areas. We call it cross-segment. That means passenger cars, bus and trucks, off-highway machinery, any type of equipment that you can connect. We put all the requirements into one specification, and we challenged the 200 engineers we had. Is there any way that we can make one design that fits to all these customers? Then I had 200 people doing this. No. It's not possible. After a few weeks, we had another meeting, and I said, now you had some time to think about this. I'm sure there is a solution. We just need to figure out what the solution is. And again, I had 200 people doing this. So, but after 2 days, one of the guys, the group manager on hardware design, he came to my room and said, I think I have an idea how to solve this. And he did. So we broke the concept. We found a way to make all the requirements on all the different markets in one design. So we decided to invest. So we invested actually 32 million euros into the new platform design. And the main objective was to minimize the NRE cost, shorten time to market, because we saw that the new market is changing. The automotive industry is really traditional. Everything takes 18 months, a very long time. If you're a startup today, you know that 18 months, it will kill you. You need to be a lot faster. So we saw the market moving in this direction with the electrification, etc. So we said, okay, shorten time to market will be key. We will go from a design from 18 months down to 6 months. So the objective with the new platform that we were designing was to be in production in 6 months with any customer that we gain during during this time. We also needed to simplify the implementation at the customer side, because otherwise we'd be swamped with support. So now we went from making customer-specific designs on customer-specific requirements, to have something generic, to have something flexible, to have something that we can do the application development, the customer can do the application development, and we can also have third parties doing the application development on the platform. So this was the way we designed the platform, and now we speak about ACU 6, the 6th generation. Okay, today we have 44 new customers. We launched the platform 2 years ago. Instead of 3, we have 44 customers, and we have pretty nice brands. We have Bugatti, we have McLaren, we have Aston Martin, we have Harley-Davidson, just to mention a few. And the number of customers are growing on the platform, so that means what everybody said was impossible was very possible, and it's actually live right now. Now we come to the second part. You know, I mentioned that the company been growing quite a lot. We are a familiar company. We speak to everybody. But if you're 200 people, it's very difficult to meet everybody and speak with everybody. So in order to facilitate that so that everybody felt included in our company, we decided to invest in a tool called Winning Temp so that everybody could forward questions to the management team. And in this tool, I noticed that the average age in our company went from 41 to 43. And I was thinking, it will be a company with only old people if we don't do something about this. So I challenged the R&D team. I said, we need to bring in some young people from the university. And they said, yeah, but Christian, you know, it's so complicated. Everything we do here, you need to have 5 years experience of this, and you need to have 5 years experience of that. Yeah, but then you are 43 years old. So I said, okay, of course I could force them to do this, but if we do that, it will not be a good thing. So we came up with the idea instead that we donate the new platform to university. So, and we also launched a scholarship, and the 2 guys sitting there is actually the first guys getting the Actia scholarship that developed applications on our platform. So I think it's a really, really nice idea that we had, and it has been really mind-blowing, because today we have 26 workstations at the university. We have connected the Toulouse University, INSA, as well to the program, because they have a collaboration with Leo that we were not aware of initially. And as we are a French company with a head office in Toulouse, it was really connecting dots here. So we are running that project together, and I think we have just seen a very small part of what will come out of this project. So there are 3 research projects, 26 workstations at the university today, and that we will expand. So what happened then? In order to not make life boring, we heard that Flextronics was going to leave Linköping. Flextronics is producing, it's a manufacturing site for electronics. We were using them for making first samples, and then we sent the projects to our own plants in Tunisia and to France. But I thought it was Linköping is going to be pretty boring without an electronic production facility. So I called Claes, who was the head of Flex here in Linköping, and I said, Claes, you're selling this. Is there any way we can discuss how to? I want to take over this. Yeah, but you know, we've been negotiating since April with a company in Malmö. They will buy the machinery and we will fire all the people. Yeah, but that's not a good thing. I want to take it over and run it and continue this. Yeah, but you know, it's too late. It's an American company, Flextronics. They don't want to carry this site in their books. And now it's mid-September, 1st of October, it has to be finished. Okay, but whom will I speak to? You will talk to Jim Ackerman. He's based in California. So in the evening, I called to Jim and I said, Jim, I heard you were closing down. You were selling all the machinery to Malmö, and you were going to fire 23 people here. As it's more than 20 people in Sweden, you know, that you fire, then you need to make this public announcement, which is bad publicity for Flex. So I have a better idea. I take over everything, and you don't need to do this. And I said, yeah, but Christian, in 2 weeks we need to close this, and you haven't even started due diligence. So I'm sorry. And I heard he was going to hang up on me. So I said, but Jim, stop. You know, you're based in California, I'm based in Linköping. That means we can do negotiations in the evening, and we can do due diligence in the daytime. That means we have 4 weeks. So he left and said, okay, I will give you one shot. This was a Thursday. I want to bid on my table on Tuesday. And when I hang up on him, I was thinking to myself, what the hell have I done? I have not spoken to my group management, so how shall I manage this? So I called to Jean-Louis and said, I have a very nice thing ongoing here, but we need to act fast. And he said, what? Are you going to buy Flextronics and you're going to do due diligence in 2 weeks? It's impossible, he said. Okay, but I will write a board notice to you that you give me the authority to run this negotiation, and we will manage this. So we did. And we actually worked 4 weeks on those 2 weeks, but we did it and we closed the deal. That was 3 years ago. The turnover at that site was 3.2 million euros at the time. And now we are in 13 million euros this year. So we have grown substantially the site. We have done a lot more things. That is another story, but then I break my time. So sorry for that. But again, I think that was giving you a brief summary of how you can do problem solving, not only for technical stuff, but also how to create your company. So if somebody tells you it is impossible, that is just a word, you know. You should take that as a challenge, because there is always a way around things. So thank you for that.